Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in with a Misfit of Demon King Academy video. Specifically, facts that the anime doesn't tell you about Anoss. This video is for those fans who have watched the anime and are in the mood for some fun facts. Now, the anime is a light novel adaptation. In other words, it's being adapted from something someone wrote, and when that happens, there's usually a lot of little details that are left out. And that's where this video comes in. I'll let you know a couple of facts and we'll call it a day there. So I hope you enjoy. Now, before we begin, just to let you know, the information in this video comes from a combination of the web novel and the manga. From what I've seen, the web novel is consistent with the events in the manga, which just tells us that the information is reliable. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Here we go. Facts that the anime doesn't tell you about Anoss, starting with number 1. The anime just calls Anoss a hybrid in Misfit of Demon King Academy, but there's a little bit more detail going on here. It seems like Anoss is mostly human, or human enough that he initially thought he was a human with demon blood. Anoss was born into a human household in a country that didn't know all that much about demons. It seems that over the course of 1,000 years, his blood got really diluted, such that he is mostly human, just with the stipulation that he has traces of his blood. Anyway, there's a few more wrinkles here according to Anoss. At first glance, having reincarnated, the blood of the founder flowing in my veins is diluted. However, if I analyze it carefully with demonic sight, I can understand that the blood has changed into the blood of the Demon King Anoss. Another wrinkle is that later on, after meeting Misha, Anoss reevaluates whether his parents are demons, making the comment that his mom might be a demon. Now, what's interesting here is that this last wrinkle occurs in the web novel, and only in the web novel, so it's kind of hard to tell whether or not Anoss is making a joke, but he probably is. What is known, however, is that Anoss knows that his dad and Misha's guardian have about the same level of demon blood. And he gets this from analyzing the two people. Another small thing having to do with Anoss's blood is that the concentration of Anoss's blood in a person does not matter. A single drop of Anoss's blood is all that's needed to make a person his descendant in terms of the concentration. So even if Anoss had a 99% human body, his 1% of demon blood would still make him valid. Anyway, that fact just covered the details that went into the whole hybrid thing. But now we go into fact 2 that has to do with the whole hybrid thing. Anoss thought that humans and demons were fundamentally incompatible. This led him to being very surprised at how human he was. Fact 3, the magic that Anoss used to grow up was called growth, or curso, or crest. It depends on the translation. He used this magic twice, once to become a 6-year-old and the second to become a 16-year-old. He did the second transformation after getting the letter to the academy. The growth spell is an advanced spell, but it's known about by humans. Humans, however, don't know about the reincarnation spell Silica. This leads into a situation where Anoss's parents just think he's a really smart kid, knowing how to do growth, but don't realize that he's just reincarnated because they don't know about Silica. Fact 4, Anoss can create gold, and in doing so, money. This was how he was planning to live on his own initially, just make his own money and pay for his daily necessities. And for the record, the gold wasn't fake. In terms of how big of a deal this was, we were told that the sage at the castle that the family lived near to was unable to create gold. Said sage, according to Anoss, was a master of magic that competed for the top spot in the country. This led to Anoss realizing how weak the humans were with their magic, because in his era, the beginner classes taught one to make mithril and orichalcum, which are mythical fantasy metals far above gold. Fact 5, Anoss didn't have parents before reincarnating. His mother died before he was born, and his father, well, he wasn't sure if his father died or abandoned him. This is part of the reason as to why he's so soft with his current parents. It should be noted that even though his parents embarrass him, Anoss feels good having supportive parents, and he ends up really appreciating them. Fact 6 revolves around the guy that Anoss meets in the first episode. Anoss noted that he and Zeppes use magic in fundamentally different ways. Here's what he said. In the first place, the use of magic is fundamentally different between me and Zeppes. This fellow frantically scapes together magic power and forcefully uses it. I naturally have it all around and can spontaneously use it. If you couldn't do that in the age of mythology, your death was certain. So good to know, thanks Anoss. Fact 7 follows up on that, continuing with Zeppes. Zeppes' interaction with Anoss was much longer in the original works. This one moment where Zeppes activates these magic circles, for instance, was a moment that got legitimate emotion out of Anoss, crippling disappointment. Furthermore, in the original scene, we learned that Anoss had accidentally used Compulsion on him. The anime didn't really give a clear indication of how accidental that first moment of Compulsion was, so it was neat to get the clarification. Fact 8. Anoss was unable to trace the magic power of the familiar, the owl. This tells us that familiars can be traced, and also this told Anoss that there were worthwhile people in the current age after all, given that they were able to hide themselves from his vision. Fact 9. Anoss always keeps a weak anti-magic field active around himself. That said, what's weak to Anoss is a field strong enough to snap Zephyr's sword in half. This setup led to a funny moment where it was played up that Anoss was worried about the sword hitting him during the match that occurred between him and Zephyr. Now this worried was played up for the punchline that Anoss just was worried about the sword because he didn't want to break an item that came from a parent. Fact 10. Anoss and Demon Lord Leorig actually fought during the exam and not after like in the anime. Not only that, but Anoss also fought 80 people who were watching in the stands, not some randoms that the Demon Lord ambushed him with in the anime. Anyway, when you keep all that in mind, you realize students witnessed a good chunk of the fight and the zombification. Now mind you, in the original work, students were evacuated from the arena after being warned that they might die due to the level of magic. But the fight was streamed to other successful applicants like Misha, and she got to see the zombification. This later led on to people being scared of Anoss because of the zombification magic. Worth noting that the anime changing when this fight happened is what causes the recreation of the Colosseum in the anime. So when you wonder, what's the point of creating a Colosseum with room for an audience for a private execution? Just remember, it's because the anime adapted things out of order, and probably because they wanted to reuse assets, like maybe. Fact 11. One of the most annoying things in Misfit is that everyone seems to be stupid. One particular case is when the crystal breaks and no one really comes to follow up on that. Interestingly, the web novel gave many more justifications of what went down. Misha and Anoss had a talk, and in that talk they described that the owls were just following orders and weren't equipped to deal with irregular things. And because of that, they could not have a more nuanced response to the breaking of the crystal. It was like a scripted scene in a video game. Anyway, what this little issue leads to is revealing that Anoss was actually getting pretty worked up over the numbers, or I guess the lack of the numbers and the lack of proper measurement. At one point, Anoss even admitted, "I'm probably being a bit childish getting obsessed over these numbers." But anyway, yeah, the crystal breaking led Anoss to wonder if the staff ever considered the possibility that someone outside of their standards would appear, and it led to him saying that the demon eyes of the current demons are weak. It also led to him questioning whether or not the staff had anyone that actually had talent. In other words, he was complaining a lot, like he was really bothered. At the end though, he settled for Misha knowing the truth. Fact 12. In the anime, the exam asks a question about why Anoss burned the city to the ground, but in the anime, Misha is the one that answers. But what about the true answer? Well, the web novel and manga have the answer. It turns out that the incident occurred at a time where Anoss could only think about the hero, Canon. And because of that, Anoss fought Canon even in his dreams, which led to the accidental discharge of the spell during the night. You could call it a nightly emission. Okay, that was a dumb joke. Anyway, what about everyone that died? Like, that's pretty dark. Well, actually, Anoss didn't kill anyone because, of course, he burned the city down so carefully that no one died. Fact 13. Anoss's personal philosophy is to not kill anyone you don't need to kill. We'll see how that holds up. Fact 14. Mushroom gratin was one of Anoss's favorite foods even before he reincarnated. You don't really get that information in the anime, but just know he really loves mushroom gratin, so his mom making it for him, honestly, it makes his day. Finally, fact 15. It's worth noting that Anoss has a wider range of emotion than just pure confidence. The anime, however, removes that nuance, just making Anoss seem like a cool stone-faced guy. But you could see Anoss's range of emotion, a lot of it very funny, in how he was shocked at Zephyr's being weak, at his concern about breaking Zephyr's sword, and him getting worked up over the incompetent staff when it came down to the magic crystal. Anoss is also the kind of guy that has foodgasms. He had a foodgasm when he had his mom's mushroom gratin. And this is where we really have to thank the manga for stepping in and actually drawing those scenes. Anoss is a bit more of a funny character than the anime would like you to know. Anyway, 15 facts for you guys. That's all the fun facts I got for you. I'm not sure if you could tell, but this was only from the first episode. You have no idea how many things have been skipped. But if you enjoyed the video, let me know down below. We have one more Demon King video coming up in this slew of videos I got. The next one covering fun facts about Anoss's parents, because why not? Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed this installment of Adapted Out, or differences between source material and adaptation. And yeah, hope you all have a great day. I would also like to just extend a thank you to the current subscribers, Talowolf, Skelly, Connor. You guys make this a lot more worthwhile. And of course, to you viewers, if you want to help support the channel, please just leave a comment, share this video with any other Misfit of Demon King Academy fans. We also have a coffee link if you feel like donating, but really sharing the video, that's one thing that really helps and goes a long way. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.